Heidi Dulaban. And do you like chocolate? Like a lot? Like I? Okay, well, stay tuned because we're going to have a little fun talking about the history of chocolate. Well, hello, it's Heidi Dulaban, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the history of chocolate. It's actually quite interesting. So just think of all the chocolate you're eating, and you think of, okay, I just have some really stuff that's usually in my purse, M&Ms, thank you, bars, Snickers, I like them frozen, Nestle, okay, and some Dutch process cocoa powder. Yeah, I love to bake. So you think about all of this and some really lovely posh chocolates as well. I have some artisan chocolate someone gave me recently. Where did all this beautiful chocolate come from? What's the story? Because worldwide, it's a multi-billion-dollar business. And it's just booming. It seems to grow every year. We all love chocolate. Personally, the darker for me, the better. Okay, how do you like your chocolate? Before we dive into it, please be so kind. Just hit that subscribe button, please. I'd be so grateful. Thank you. Okay, so chocolate. We have been enjoying chocolate for thousands of years. Yes, historians have found remnants of cacao in vats that are thousands of years old. But we know 4,000 years ago in what was called Mesoamerica. Now today we call this area southern Mexico, Central America, parts of South America. Yes, the cacao beans were grown there, or cocoa beans. And the difference is cacao is really less processed, same plant, same bean. A cocoa bean has been processed more. It's been heated and processed more. So that's really the difference. So let's just talk cocoa beans, if you will. So, okay, 4,000 years ago, yes, they're growing them and they are enjoying them. It's a drink. It's not as exactly how we enjoy chocolate today at all. That comes centuries later. But what the ancient Mayans did in Mesoamerica, they loved chocolate. They felt that chocolate had come from a feathered serpent god. Yeah, they had a god to chocolate, and he was a feathered serpent, which sounds really kind of off-putting when you think of how great chocolate is, but the god brought the chocolate, brought the plant, and from the plant they take the beans and they would mix it and grind it with some chili peppers. And these chilies made it hot, and then they made a drink. They pour hot water into it, and it would be all frothy, and it was very bitter. It wasn't very good, but it was seen to be somewhat of an aphrodisiac, and it was medicinal, and it was wonderful. And so they're really enjoying it. The Mayans knew how to make this beautiful chocolate drink. Well, now, we're talking in the early 1500s, the world's opening up, and these great mariners are out there, and there's a Spanish explorer named Cortez. Yes, Cortez. Well, he ends up in Mesoamerica in the court of Montezuma. Yes, and King Montezuma, he wants to entertain this interesting Spanish explorer. So for Cortez, he brings out vats and vats and vats of this fabulous chocolate drink. And Cortez says, wow, this is great. We've got to get some of this stuff back home. So he loads up his ship and he brings back the cocoa beans back to Spain, and everybody goes crazy for it. So he said, we've got to get in on this. And then they get in, and unfortunately, there's a lot of slave labor involved, and cocoa beans are grown around the equator. Today, most of the cocoa beans are grown in West Africa, in particular in the Ivory Coast, the Côte d'Ivoire. And that makes sense because much like the coffee plant, they like the heat. Yeah, cocoa beans, they like the heat, the plant. Okay, so that's going along, but it's this drink. It's still a bitter drink, but now it has this kind of reputation as somewhat of an aphrodisiac. It's expensive. By the time it gets to Spain, it's pretty expensive, and it starts going around the world a little bit with the explorers as they're trading and sailing. But this is for the wealthy, and special instruments are made for serving this chocolate drink. Okay, well then along comes the early 1800s, and there was a Dutch father and son, Van Houtens, and they came up with the process of a cocoa press. And the father invented the cocoa press, which made the cocoa bean. We could then extract the cocoa butter, and from there we could take the cocoa butter and then we could mix it with other things, and then we could make it more into the chocolate, like the M&Ms I'm thinking about today. Well, not exactly then, but you know what I mean, more into a more chocolate form, not just a drink. And his son helped come up with the process with the cocoa powder. Thus the Dutch cocoa process, which is a more processed cocoa powder, unlike a natural cocoa powder, which is not bathed in a solution to sort of get rid of a bit of the acidity. So the natural cocoa powder has a higher acidity. The Dutch process has lower acidity. Okay, so that gives you an idea about that, but then it's going along, things are happening, and then we get into the 1800s, go on, and it becomes more popular, and with this new process, it becomes cheaper and more available to the masses. And then by the 1900s, we have all this beautiful chocolate, and everyone can enjoy it. Just about everyone can enjoy it around the world. And today, the Western Europeans, yes, they really know how to make chocolate. Okay, Swiss chocolate. How about, I'm particular to Belgian chocolate. Just saying, and they are master chocolatiers, and it's just such a delight when you have the chance to enjoy some really great artisanal chocolate. So I hope this very brief little glimpse into the history of chocolate was interesting to you. Drop me a comment. Tell me, how do you like your chocolate? Do you like really milk chocolate, so many companies make, or do you like things like much darker chocolate? I love a great piece of dark chocolate. Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, thank you for watching. And as I always say, everyone, please be kind. Thank you.